this is working, I have no idea. I'm literally in my hangar in a big metal oven in the middle of Phoenix and trying to use my Wi-Fi to make this work on my phone. So welcome. If you're new to the channel, welcome even more. Really happy to be able to do this today, mostly because I haven't done this since, I thought it was 2020, but in the comments someone just let me know since 2021. So this is different than what I used to do, because I used to have like all this production and everything, but I'm literally just here inside the hangar. So it's just me engaging with you guys, trying to have some fun. So howdy to Arthur, who's actually been to the hangar here. He helped me move some stuff in the hangar with some of his friends, and I still could not be more grateful for that. Oh, the audio just came in. Is the audio working? And I know there's a delay, so it's going to take you guys a little bit to be able to to answer that question. So yeah, let me know. I'm waiting. Awesomeness. So I'm assuming that the audio is working. Okay, so today's going to be a AMA, Ask Me Anything. I'll try to answer your guys' questions. I want to do a hangar tour, show you guys what's going on, also show you the current state of the red rocket, some of the parts and things that are going to be going on inside of the airplane. And you guys may be hearing airplanes and stuff go by. I mean, this is a very active airport. Last time I checked, we had over 1,100 aircraft and on the premises that may have gone up or down. I don't know. So I can hear people going by right now. So first thing I want to do here, I'm going to pick this camera up and step out of the hangar here with you and kind of show you what I got going on. This is the nice part about doing it on a cell phone, is I can pick you up and carry you places. So anyways, the hangar. It is a small hangar here at Deer Valley. They have larger ones that I'd be able to fit this plane and probably another one in. And you'll notice that right here, I've got my wing, which has been sitting in the background for a while because we're finally to the stage of working on the wings. So I kind of separate everything into a couple of piles. Like over here is everything that's going on the plane. Everything right down here is what's been on the plane that's not going back on the plane. This pile of the plane. And then my workbench area. So I'm actually really excited about a lot of this workbench. Believe it or not, I dumpster dive for stuff at the airport. People move in and out of the hangars all the time, and they put good stuff by the dumpsters, and I pick it up. I've gotten a lot of shelves and different things that way. And then just having friends when they move out. I got this entire workbench over here. I've got these shelves from the dumpster, you know, just things. But it makes for a good workshop, like having a good vise, having a drill press, you know, all this stuff was given to me. Yeah, some stuff I'm currently working on is getting these fuel lines working. These were the ones that were originally on the airplane, and they were awful. They were absolutely awful. They need to be replaced. So I bought this, which is a straightener for them, and I was just messing around with it so I could use these guys to be able to learn to flare them. But I've got all the new tubing I need to be able to run a new fuel system to the airplane. That's currently what's been going on inside of my head during this work. So let's step over here to the airplane. If you guys have been watching the videos, and hopefully this has all been coming through, we've got the interior rocking and rolling. We've got the firewall in, and I can't be happier with some of the modifications that have been going on in here. And right now, I have the panel about this close to being cut. And for all the avionics, and that new panel is going to go right here. I haven't even gotten to this part in videos yet. I extended the boot cowling here. This actually ended back here. And it ended because the original panel actually rolled up to it. But I needed it flat so I could have a flat panel. So that's taken care of. It's ready to, yeah, I keep getting back and forth with the guy who's helping me with it, like moving things, fine-tuning locations, and making sure it's all gonna fit just right. And then we're gonna cut it hopefully Monday, Tuesday of next week, and it'll be ready to put in the plane, which means I'm ready. And this is where the airplane is at. we're basically ready for plumbing and wiring everything here, which is a huge deal. I have a lot of concern about the engine because, you know what, I don't know if it's gonna run properly. And I always say that this had a hard landing. Well, I found out exactly what happened with the hard landing about 3 weeks ago. So, story goes, the previous owner of this plane was flying it inverted, and there is a thing called a gas collator, and it's like a little cup filter-ish thingy. Anyways, it failed while he was inverted, so all of the debris that was in it clogged the fuel system and starved the engine of fuel. And so he was forced to land. But that means that it was a non-prop strike. I found pictures online. I think I've posted those. The propeller was horizontal, non-prop strike, and that the engine was functional, technically, at the time of the forced landing. So I have high hopes for it. Granted, it has been sitting for several years. And, you know, until we get the fuel system on it and try to start it, I don't know. There's a lot of unknown. And I am trying to get this finished and sent off to Oshkosh, or fly it to Oshkosh. And gosh, I want it there so bad that I'm willing to drag it out there. So I'm working with some of the vendors who have shown some interest, some of the people who've provided parts for the plane, to see if I can have it at their booth for this year. So if all that comes to fruition, whether I'm flying it or dragging it there, I think it's gonna be there. So this is all the old baffling, we're just fitting it on. So, you know, I should take you guys over here. I've kind of shown this off and on, all the people who have been helping us. Some of my stickers just keep falling off because they're so big, especially the big one in the middle here for Level Aviation. They're providing a majority of the avionics for my display and iPad. So, but we got Trig on board. They are helping us out with the radio transponder and all things antenna. GRT Avionics is providing the engine information system so that that can go to the Level iPad and show me all of my engine information. Acme Aero, we've done a video on installing their suspension components down over here, which are amazing. And they just got an STC to be able to put those on like J3 Cubs, PA-18s, PA-11s, anything that Piper made that was similar to this, those can go on now. So huge thing for them. And they were one of the people that said, hey, why don't you come see us next year at Osh and bring your plane? And I don't know, with this new STC, they may pick someone else, so I got to reach out to them. But seriously, huge thank you to them for helping us out. I'm about to put their sticker on the wing that's sitting over here. Exonaut, their little sticker here, I wish they had sent me a bigger one. This one is for the iPad mount, which is proving to be a pain in the butt, not because of them, because I'm using their product in a way that it wasn't intended to be used. So you guys see that once we get the panel all put together. Quality Aircraft Accessories here, they overhauled the magnetos. We just released a video on that one. I'm incredibly impressed with the quality of work they're able to do on that one. Javron Aviation, they've provided our landing gear. And a little bit about these guys. These are gonna allow me to, I can't really increase the gross weight just willy-nilly, but I have the ability, because of those guys, to increase to like 1750. That's huge considering the paperwork for this says 1277, and no, I'm not going up to 1750. That would be stupid in this plane. Let's see here. Plane power. They have provided an alternator that you guys don't know about yet. Video on that one coming soon. We have Behringer providing the brakes and wheels and all those things. Skytech, new starter is going to be going on. I have just started pulling that out of the box and we've test fit it. And one down here is Crow Harnesses. Now, I stopped in with them a couple of months ago and I'm like, hey guys, you want to be a part of this? And they're like, yeah, that's a really cool project. And I didn't mean to do this, but I've kind of ghosted them just because, well, I don't have the seat in here and it's been being worked on, and because of that delay, I haven't been able to measure, and my fault. They're a great company. Man, their workshop is amazing, and I hope I still get to work with them once I get my measurements and everything put together. So there's a couple of more sponsors that I haven't got the stickers for. I'll show you their parts in just a little bit. But yeah, outside of that, I've got the wing here. And I'm gonna let you guys in on some secrets since you're here. So if you're looking at the wing, right here is the fuel outlet. And it's at the aft portion of the fuel tank. The problem with that is I wasn't thinking when I was putting together all of my systems. And once I finally looked inside the airplane, right up by where the wing goes, it says, wing tanks for straight and level flight only. Crap. So I started researching and figuring out why. So I found some modifications I can do to this tank that will make it so that I can use both my wing tanks in all modes. My brain's not working. All phases, there's the word, all phases of flight. So very, very excited for that. We're also going to be putting a sight gauge in here so that I can see how much fuel I have. But yeah, I had to cut open the side of this wing to figure a lot of that stuff out. So those are some secrets, videos coming on that soon, because this is a major modification that I'm making to the airplane. So now I've been seeing some questions, stuff fly by on the screen, but when I'm showing you guys things and not looking directly at it, I don't see them. So I'll hopefully catch up with those in just a minute. But another secret, kind of let this one out a little bit, but we're going fuel injected. So this is the new throttle body for the Red Rocket, and this thing is incredible. Manufactured by Avstar, and it is, a lot of airplane parts are just pieces of art themselves. But we moved over to this guy because I had a Bendix pressure carburetor, and it actually came off a Pitt Special, the bi-wing, aerobatic airplane. But what happened was that carburetor, I wanted to overhaul it. 10 years ago, it was $5,000 to overhaul, which just, and if you were to think about it in today's dollars, if you could get the parts to do it, probably $7,000 to $8,000 to be able to overhaul that. And so I contacted a company that owned the patent for it, and they're all like, yeah, we're not even making parts for it. That is not a good solution for aircraft anymore. And I'm like, so I reached out to a handful of companies and started working with Avstar. So I'm incredibly excited. I've got fuel injectors. I've got all the things I need to be able to inject this engine, moving it from a carburetor. And I don't know, they say that you can get extra horsepower when you go injected. So it's already got 160. I'm expecting 170 to 180 horsepower now, which that's a lot. That's a lot of horsepower for something that's going to weigh hopefully under 900 pounds once we're done. I mean, why do we call it the Red Rocket? That's why we call it the Red Rocket, because the power to weight ratio on this is going to be absolutely insane. Yeah, 180 horsepower on this. Oh, well, I think that's really all that's kind of going on here in the hangar right now that I'm willing to tell you guys about. I wish I could show you pictures of the rendering of the dash or the panel and everything right now. But those are they're kind of hiding. And I gave all my avionics to the guy who is cutting that panel for me so that he can measure everything out and get it put together. So I don't have any of them to really show you guys, but that would be too cool if I could. So, all right, I'm back over here at my computer now, and I can see all you guys saying things to me. Oh, wow. Yes, yay, secrets. So if you guys have questions for me, go ahead and shoot them off. I'm excited that you guys are even here right now. So, will I be at AirVenture this summer? Yes, I'm trying to get the airplane to AirVenture. Like I was saying, I'm either gonna fly it or drag it there. And I'm also planning on being there almost the entire week. A lot of the companies that are working with me want me to be at their booths and talking about their products because I'm firsthand going to be installing a lot of these things. And a lot of these companies are excited because they're experimental products and they want to be able to show people and have they talk to someone who's installed their products to let them know how the process really goes, and if it's easy, how hard it is, and things like that. So I'm excited to be a part of that. So almost all through there. Now let's see here. There's a lot of things coming in. How long are you expecting the project to be? If I don't finish it by Osh and have to drag it there, I want to have it done shortly thereafter. I'm so close, and I have my full-time job is a stay-at-home dad, and so I don't want to say my kids will get in the way of it, but my kids will probably be here with me at the hangar while I'm working on it and recording and helping things this summer. So I'm excited to have them be a part of this project, because they're always excited to come over here, play in the airplane, sit in the airplane, help me work on things. And so they're definitely not a burden. And Bo Anderson, hey, thank you. I appreciate that donation. Every little bit helps me out so much. Okay, let's see here. What all ratings and licenses do you have? And that's from Carson Knott there. I just have my private pilot right now. I've been going through my instrument rating. A lot of the projects and things that I do as far as the informational stuff I post on the channel, I do in conjunction with a lot of CFIs right now. Once this project is complete, I am finishing out the instrument rating. I have like 7 hours left on that. And I'm ready to take the check ride. I've already completed everything else for it. After that, you're gonna see series of me, or you're gonna see the instrument series being released, and then you're gonna see me quickly go through commercial and CFI, and then the content for the channel is gonna be limitless. We're gonna be doing so much stuff. Hopefully this time next year, we're teaching you guys how to fly from the right seat, left seat, doesn't matter, and really giving tips and pointers that I don't feel like I could work with you guys on right now because I don't have that certificate under my belt. So, but yes, Kev, I agree. I really want to be doing that, and I feel like that's what's been holding me back, being able to create that content, seriously, because I don't know, there's a level of liability, and I don't want to say, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna make it anyways. No, I wanna be a CFI before I do it. So that also, before Osh, if I fly this there, includes getting my tailwheel endorsement. I don't have that one yet. I have a tailwheel airplane, I need to get it. I have a lot of friends who are gonna help me get that here in the near future, and we should be making some videos of that, which will be very, very fun. So, and if I can do it in the plane that I'm thinking of, I'm incredibly, incredibly excited. So, all right, let's see what else we got. Arthur asked, how close am I to finishing my instrument certificate? I'm pretty close, 7 hours away. That's actually an interesting story, because I had the intent to do it, and it has been just over a year as of the 25th since I did my long cross country instrument flight. And the reason for that is just a mixture of stuff. My life got complicated. The school that I was at, and if you go to a larger flight school, some of them specialize in just getting the pilot certificate, then they have less of a program for instruments, and then like no program for commercial. It just depends on who they cater to. This one caters a lot to primary students, and so they only had 2 aircraft that I could do the instrument stuff in, and unfortunately those 2 aircraft fell ill. And so they weren't functioning until the early part of this year. And so, but they're all functioning now, and they're doing some overhauls to another one that's coming online so that they can really bolster up their instrument training, because they've been getting a lot of students coming through the pipeline, which is amazing for them, because it really is a good school. And I usually don't give endorsements to schools, but I chose this school for a reason. And I'll let you guys know that's Fly Eagle Sport out of Glendale, Arizona. Fantastic, fantastic school. So, all right, let's see here. What else have we got? Do you still have plans to get your ground instructor license? Oh, I wanted to get my ground instructor certificate, and I may do that in between some of those things, because it is just a test that I have to study for and pass the test. But I think that just getting the CFI, moving straight to it, will probably help me. I don't know. They have relatively the same test bank, so I may take both tests at the same time and just, check that box. We're missing one multi-engine aircraft here because collapsed landing. Oh, I think I saw some rumblings about that, but I've had my head out of the local aviation scene because I've had it deep inside of fixing this airplane for the last little bit. So, getting PTSD from the Cessna crashing into the hangar. I have been wanting to do a video of, hey, look, I'm flying the 172 again. And it was repaired as of, I want to say, March or April of last year. So it's been flying for about a year, and it has over 500 hours on the engine already. It is a very popular plane. It flies all the time. Every time I come to the airport, I either see it taxiing out or taxiing in. I don't think the hangar door is ever closed on it. So I'm happy to see it back in action. And it literally just, it had a gray nose on it until last month. They just primed it. They wanted to get it back operating. So they just painted the nose of it last month. So I should probably make a video of going and flying it because it is still near and dear to my heart. I love seeing that airplane fly around. I do still enjoy flying it, and it's probably the airplane that I fly the best out of all the airplanes I've ever flown, just because I have so much time in it and very, very familiar with it. So let's see, looking down here at my laptop. Oh, now we're down to one. Oh, I think I heard some about that. Oh, it's not Party Show, it's Parate Show, I think, from Brazil. So you're mentioning the first flight inside of the airplane. I will not be flying the Red Rocket first. I have a friend who loves being a test pilot, many thousands of hours, used to flying slow planes, fast planes, planes that are inherently unstable. And so he will be doing the first flight inside of this. I will be doing lots of engine runs up and working with the engine to make sure that it is healthy as possible. He will go fly it first. He will get a bunch of the numbers. He will come back and tell me about the nuances of the aircraft, and then I will take it out and go and fly it at that point. So I want to be safe. I don't want to risk my life. And also, my mechanic that's helping me with this is not an IA. He just has his AMP. He can technically sign the airplane off and return it to service, but I am still getting this thoroughly inspected by an IA before the Red Rocket is flying again. So I don't want to take chances with my life or anyone else's life. So, have we ever flown to Huntsville, Alabama? I have not. I don't think I've ever actually been to Alabama. I've been to Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas, but I don't think I've ever been to Alabama. My father-in-law, I can't remember if no, he wasn't born there, but that's where he likes to say he's from. So one day I think I want to get down there. Let's see. I'm just reading a lot of these comments from you guys. Will the Red Rocket have to be certified? So I actually get a lot of hate inside of the J3 Cub community for two reasons. My airplane is experimental exhibition, and my airplane is not yellow. And I actually just abandoned the J3 Cub community because they can't wrap their heads around what this aircraft is, what its purpose is, and what I'm doing with it. And they continually tell me, hey, you need to take that back to a certified state. To be honest with you guys, this plane will never be back in certified state, not because of me, but because of the modifications that have been done to this aircraft to have it support the O320 and all those things. A lot of paperwork would have to happen. And there are so many experimental parts on it now that it can't be done. It will not go back to being certified. So we'll be flying this experimental exhibition. I just got my registration a month and a half ago for it. And so it took them over a year to get me the registration. But I finally have it, and I'm ready to rock and roll, working with the FSDO on that experimental exhibition certificate. And if you don't know anything about that, it's a little touchy. My understanding is I'll get a radius around the airport, and anytime I want to leave that radius, I have to work with them or submit paperwork to be able to leave. So, but I don't plan on flying very far away from my current airport with this airplane. It's really not a cross-country airplane. This is a go out, have fun, and do, I don't want to say silly things, but do silly things kind of airplane. So, all right. If anyone doesn't know who Kimball Hancock is, that is my father. And so, yes, that probably does make my mother. Hopefully that didn't mess up the live stream. What is my favorite airport to fly to? I have two favorite airports. Sedona, Arizona, which is on a lot of people's bucket list. I love going there. Given the opportunity to fly over the Grand Canyon or fly in Sedona, I will fly to Sedona every single time. The Grand Canyon is highly regulated. It's got its own sectional and there's corridors you have to adhere to, restrictions and all these things, special frequencies that you have to use, and where that's not hard to manage, it's a hole in the ground when you start flying over it that extends in either direction almost as far as you can see. But Sedona has some of the most beautiful mountains and formations that I've ever seen in my life, and I love, love, love flying there. The other airport I go to a lot is the Payson Airport. They have a nice, expensive, I would say, hamburger. Not that they charge a lot for it, but when you take an airplane there, you know how that goes. But I've taken my kids there several times. We always enjoy the food, and they have really good pies. So sometimes, there's been times when I've just flown there to pick up a pie, a very expensive pie, obviously. But places that I want to go flying, though, northern Idaho. There are a lot of mountains and stuff there, but just beautiful scenery and greenery that for some reason I want to go fly there. So that is on my bucket list of places to go. Another bucket list is Catalina Island, which is feasible in the Red Rocket. So I might actually look at doing that as some fun content for myself and to go to some fun new places. So outside that, no, I'd have to really sit here and think, and I don't want to be quiet on camera for terribly too long. But let's see here. Some great books about aviation. The thing is, I don't do a ton of reading anymore. It's mostly just studies. I have read a handful of aviation-related books. One is called The Magic Carpet by Greg Brown, and that is his adventures of flying, and they're short stories, and so they're perfect because you read a chapter and you get a full story of experiences that he's had over his many, many years of flying. And Greg Brown, if you haven't heard of him, he got, I think it's the Instructor Hall of Fame. I can't remember exactly what it's called by the FAA, but he and the Kings, if you know the Kings from their ground school, online ground school, he and them were inducted into that Hall of Fame at the same time and got their awards for that just last year. So that is a fun little book. I've read some of the stories, and yeah, they're fun. And just to hear some of the dumb things that he's done, it's like, man, I can learn from not doing that. So definitely check that out if you're looking for more story type stuff. Otherwise, just informational stuff. There's so much on the internet, and just the main books are that the FAA provides for studying are, you know, good knowledge, although boring. So, all right, let's look down here again. Makes you miss cross-country flying. Cross-country flying is fun. I do enjoy it, but yeah, it's the thing that I've noticed about cross-country flying for myself is I do budget my flying a lot. I do not have unlimited funds, and in fact, I would say that I utilize the YouTube channel as a means to be able to fly. And so and all that money that I've been using, I invest into this airplane to be able to create the content that I do. And I don't let this expensive hobby touch my personal finances. And so the reason I don't go on long cross countries is going back to that whole, hey, I'm a full-time stay-at-home dad. So getting away from my family and kids, first, I don't like doing it. And second, where my wife works full-time, it puts her inside of a bind. So I don't do long cross country because of that and for financial reasons, because when I rent that 172 in the last couple of years, it's gone up in per hour rental price, and going on a 4 or 5 1 hour one-way cross country turns into a very expensive experience. So, all right. Do you get nervous at all while flying other people in the plane with you? I do not. I don't get nervous because I want to make sure that I'm always current as a pilot. I'm making sure I fly enough to be able to do that. A lot of my flying that I'm doing right now is mostly currency stuff. I go out, I do touch and goes, I go practice maneuvers, and it sounds weird to do that because I'm so far away and displaced from like my private pilot certificate, but it's staying current on those things that make me feel confident enough as a pilot to be able to take people with me anytime that I want to. Was I a little nervous at first? I'd say yes, but that's purely because I didn't, I had just gotten my certificate and I already knew that I was a terrible pilot, and I knew that I had to put on more hours to become a better pilot. So a lot of people say that your certificate is just the license to learn, and I would definitely agree with that. And there's a lot of learning that happens after you get your certificate. So, but no, having that confidence, if I didn't have it, I would never take people. So, but confidence at a level that's not the hazardous attitudes, stay away from those for sure. And yeah, I love taking people flying. I do it all the time. I've met people randomly out in the public. They've recognized who I was. I connected with them. I've taken them flying. I take people flying as often as I possibly can. And when someone asked me one time, hey, why do you like taking people flying with you all the time? My answer is because nobody wants to die alone, right? All right, back down to here. Are you planning on some aerobatic training? So this airplane was fully aerobatic with inverted oil and fuel system. I have removed both of those. I do not plan on flying this airplane in full aerobatic mode or configuration, whatever. I'm only planning on doing positive G stuff inside this airplane. It is a clip wing Cub, and with this power and with the entire the aileron is almost the entire length of the wing. So it can roll so fast, but I don't want to fly it that way. In fact, I have the inverted oil system as part of my pile of stuff that I'm not putting in the plane again, and my inverted fuel system is over under my workbench. I am going to store those things in case I ever do decide to put them on the airplane. But for right now, the answer to aerobatic training is no, not inside of this airplane. If I do aerobatic training, it'll be in a plane that is purpose-built for aerobatic. Oh, you did your, Kev did his first solo cross-country 5 days ago. Congratulations. I remember doing that. I went to Blythe. It was awful. Blythe, California from here. There's nothing. And on my IFR cross-country, I also went to Blythe. I knew there was nothing there, but I couldn't see that there was nothing there because you're flying blind. So let's see here. And my dad saying he's flown with me. He was actually, I think, my first passenger. And what's he saying? Don't know if he gets nervous, but he does everything to make his passengers comfortable. That I do. Even when I tell them, hey, here are the emergency procedures, because these are things that could happen while we're in the air. So I always make sure to definitely go through the that briefing with my passengers. We go through emergency briefings, we go through normal briefings, how to use the seat belts, you know, all the stuff that we need to do. So let's see here. Yes, thank you guys for congrats to Kev there. It's encouraging everyone. I mean, the aviation is a community, and we need to keep building it and doing more. So, but all right. Well, do you guys have any more questions? This has been fun. I feel like I've just been talking the whole time. Oh, it's because I have. So I'm gonna wait for that delay, see if you guys have anything else. Check ride prep for Kev there. I remember mine. That was check ride prep was when I said change my mentality from I get to go fly an airplane to I have to go fly an airplane. It was very, there was a lot going on, and so I had to bury my head. I was in the books. I was preparing for that oral portion and making sure that my flight skills were up to snuff. And so I hope that, or wish you the best on that, seriously. So, and pilot Nat, you pilot your, I can't read that from here. You haven't flown in 2 months. I will say I haven't flown, the furthest I've gone is a little over a month since I got my pilot certificate. And I start jonesing for needing to go flying. So I hear you. And right now I think I'm flying for about 30 to 45 minutes every month is all I'm getting in while I'm investing heavily in getting this airplane ready. So I wish I could fly more. Seriously, I'd probably fly every single day. So, all right. Well, I think I answered a majority of your guys' questions. This has been fun. Planning on doing these once a month now, maybe a little bit more elaborate than I did today. When I got to the airport, I had all these plans for everything and then found out my batteries were dead, my microphone system's bad, which is why I'm sitting so close to you guys right now. And but the airport has been nice and quiet, and this oven is just getting hotter. So I'm gonna sign off from you guys. Thank you so much for joining me inside of this live stream. It's been great getting to talk with you guys, seeing your questions come through, and update you on the Red Rocket and show you some of the parts that are coming. So plenty more videos coming soon on that, and more informational videos coming soon. And this, yeah, again, this has been great. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for watching. Thank you for, liking the video. Thank you for just participating inside of this channel. Aviation is great. And as always, share aviation wherever you can, and we'll see you in the next one.